In this week's parsha, Parshas Va'Yatzei3, Yaakov decides to flee Lavan. After living there for 20 years, Yaakov decides that it's time for him and his family to leave. And he decides that there's no way Lavan himself will allow him to leave his house. So as Lavan leaves on a business trip or something of that sort, Yaakov decides to flee, not telling Lavan a thing. Remember that Lavan was the father-in-law of Yaakov, and Yaakov had already many children, and he just leaves with all of his children, his wives, and so on. When Lavan finds out, he decides he's going to get them back. And that night, as he slept, he gets communication from Hashem. Hashem tells him, do not speak to Yaakov mitoy v'adra. Don't speak to Yaakov from good to bad. What does this mean? Toiv, good, would mean that he would say to Yaakov, it's for your best to return to my house. Going out into the world, who knows what can happen? Come to my house, the security of my household, and so on. Ra, what's the evil or the bad, is that maybe he'll try to force Yaakov to return to his house. He'll tell him that if he doesn't, I'm going to kill you, or something of that sort. A threat. What's mitoy v'adra, from good to bad, meaning that even those statements you may have said that are in between those two statements. Whatever you don't say one single word. Don't say anything. So, why was Lavan told so strictly that he may not say one word to Yaakov? Why can't he just say something? Why can't he just communicate something to him? Why was his directive not to say anything? The answer is that you have to understand the nature of who Lavan was. Lavan had cheated Yaakov many times, but he hadn't cheated him explicitly. He cheated him by navigating what we consider truth in a very narrow way, consistently switching the way Yaakov would take his portion of the cattle. Not to go to any details, but basically what happened was, over the 20 years that Yaakov was in the house of Lavan, he experienced countless times where Lavan decided to switch what their contract was, which cattle he would take. And every single time, Lavan was trying to make sure that Yaakov got as little cattle as possible. In addition, he had cheated Yaakov initially. Yaakov had come to marry Rachel, but when he came to the wedding and the person who he's marrying was covered in the veil, he couldn't tell who it was, but it was really Leah. And he specifically told Lavan, Rachel bitcha haktana, I want your daughter Rachel, who's the younger one, meaning that don't make any excuses. I told you specifically I want to marry the younger daughter, but nonetheless, Lavan tricks him and sticks Leah in a wedding dress. Now, his rationalization in that case also was because, well, it's our custom to marry the elder before the younger daughter. Every single time when he tricks, when he cheats, when he does evil, it's always under the guise of dignity. So Hashem tells Lavan, Al tadaber al Yaakov mitoy v'adra. I don't want to hear one word out of your mouth, because whatever you're saying explicitly, you have a different intention. You're trying to subvert Yaakov. You're going to do something, no matter what words you choose, to get Yaakov to come back. I know who you are, Hashem is saying, and I know no matter what you communicate, the communication is going to be that Yaakov should return. And I don't want Yaakov to return to your house, because you are one of the most evil people, and his family has to stay pristine. Quick question on this week's Parsha. There is an interesting, kind of strange point to make, that Lavan means white. Lavan, the person who he's speaking of, Yaakov's father-in-law, who was constantly tricking and cheating and so on, his name was white. Well, why in the world would the man who is the paragon of trickery be called white? Have a good Shabbos.